They have agents all around the world. They've got spies. They've got.
No worries. I live in China for 40 years. I survived.
How do you
Yeah, I was poisoned many times in China. I was always arrested into the police stations. I don't care about that. You should be brave if you want to against the Communist Party. Yeah, you should be brave. You should be. You get some things, you lose some things.
So
You never get something free.
Yeah.
You never get some things free.
They're putting this country into tyranny
Yes.
using fear.
Yeah, I will tell you that. The keep your freedom, keep your democracy. The only way is to stop by the cheap products from China.
it's very hard.
You
to
know,
boycott. It's very hard to boycott China.
You must do that. Oh, your kids, your grandchildren will become slave of the Communist Party.
The problem is we don't build anything in Britain. We don't.
You
make
must set up the new capability.
agree.
That's the only way can solve your problem. You know.
Do you think we should boycott Israel as well?
Yes, Israel.
Do you think we should boycott Israel too?
No. Why?
Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians. The way China's
Palestine,
doing
you
to
know,
the Uyghurs, like China's doing to the Uyghurs.
You know, Palestine was given up by the Iran. Iran supported by China. It's actually China, Russia, Iran, North Korea groups. They take control and manipulate the wars in the Middle East. Today, Iran and Israel have the fully conflict. That's a proxy war. The big boss behind both sides is the United States and China.
How do I find it?
I talked about this last year in that speaker's corner. In that corner, it's already told that the Middle East theaters will happen in a half years, but last Friday it will happen, right?
Yeah, you warned about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I predict
I have
a long time ago.
I have a related question. Maybe you can
Yeah.
make a prediction. What do you think about the British government's relationship with China? What do you think about our government, UK government? What do you think about that
In the
dynamic?
economy, the British governments have to cooperate with the Chinese government, but in the politics and the military, they are enemy. I told, to be honest, they are enemy.
Because economically, we make our products in China. We make
Yeah,
our
I'll tell you
products in
why.
China. And then politically, we're always saying China's the threat. They're going to kill us. They're going to nuke us. They're the threat.
Because your governments have no choice. Why they don't have no choice? Because in the past 40 years, your politicians, your governments make a big mistake. They put the money to the China and they use a cheap label. They buy cheap products from China. You close your plant, you close your manufacturing capability. So now today you don't have the choice. You must have to buy some things from China. That's economically you have the cooperation, but in the political and militarily, your enemy, you know, Communist Party never think about they are friend of the Western countries. They worry about their power every day. The first priority of the Communist Party to keep them safe. What's the only way keep them safe is to destroy democracy and freedom.
Can I ask you a question? Another question.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of talk about how the American empire is coming down,
Yeah.
and then the Chinese century might come, right? At the end of this century. Do you think that maybe, potentially, it might be better to live in a Chinese-dominated system rather than America-dominated? The reason I ask this, when you look at Iraq was destroyed by America, 1 million people dead. Libya, Afghanistan, some of the worst regimes in the world, the Nigerian government, Egyptian government,
I tell that.
supported by
You know,
America. Maybe if
yeah,
China had more power,
you'll
it
be in
might
China.
better.
You will be in China. Have you talked with the Chinese people in the Beijing?
I've spoken to them in London.
But yes,
They're very nice people. I wouldn't mind if they ran the world.
their personality is mild, but they do not have the independent thinking. They do not speak out anything about the government because the Chinese people was brainwashed for 20 years, 6 years old to the 24 years old. They brainwashed. They have the unconditionally to the loyalty
Blame
to the.
communism. But the reality is China has a collectivist culture, right?
Yeah.
With the family structure. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an anthropologist. The Chinese.
But you know that I
Chinese
traveled
families-
35 countries. I
know
live
more
in
than
the
me.
United States. I live in the UK. I live in France.
Chinese people don't think
I live in Beijing. Also, compare all the system. There is no perfect system. Democracy and freedom guarantee the democracy and freedom. But democracy and freedom cannot guarantee the rich. Cannot guarantee the rich. So compare all the systems. Democracy and freedom is better for the normal people. It's better for the normal people.
We only have democracy.
But
We have an
yes,
individualist culture.
communism is good for what? Communism is good for the Communist Party. For the member of the Communist Party, it's not only for the senior officers of the Communist Party. They are very rich. They have the $1 billion US in the bank account, in the Switzerland bank account, in UK bank account. It's not in China bank account. Even senior officers of the Communist Party, they are afraid of to put their money in the China. But how can you say the normal people, they are happy, they are safe? Senior officers, they are not safe.
China seems to be improving. It has a lot of problems. You mentioned the exploitation of factories and the way they treat the minorities there. I understand it. But do you not agree, though? China seems to be doing better and better every year. Compare that to, the West. The West seems to be...
I tell you that China is the largest economy for this world for over 1,000 years. It's nothing to do with the Communist Party. China, they are largest economy, the strongest empire in the 1,000 years before.
Some credit to the Communist
Yeah.
Party.
No. Communist Party, they make a lot of troubles for Chinese people. In the 1970s, 18 million people was starved to death because of Communist Party.
What about the
In the 1970s,
how many people died in the Taiping Rebellion before that?
Taiping
Millions of
Rebellion.
people died in China throughout the last 1,000 years. You had millions of people dying, famine, disease, war.
You're right. But
What's so different about the Communist Party?
in the Communist Party, in the 1970s, the Cultural Revolution, there's a 50 million people was illegal killing.
The Taiping Rebellion was the biggest civil war in
Taiping Rebellion, that's a civil war. Civil war. Do you understand that?
there was no
Civil war.
There was no
But
communism.
Communist Party, that is a peaceful time. Cultural Revolution, that is a political campaign.
The British Empire.
The political
Okay, hold on a second.
campaign.
I'm Irish.
That's intensive
Can I just-
genocide.
can I
That's a
mention an
genocide. That's a genocide.
I'm Irish and British. I have that
Okay.
info, right?
Yeah.
The British Empire, democratic, free Britain, they caused hundreds of thousands of people to starve to death in Ireland. They caused millions of people to die in Bengal. Millions of people in India to die of starvation. Democratic, free Britain did that.
I tell you that
Tell me how much better
democracy
Britain
and
is than
freedom
China
is
then.
not guaranteed the rich, but they guarantee freedom and free speech. If I make the public speech in Beijing, I will go to the jail tonight.
Have you ever
They
done this?
just go to the jail
Have you ever
tonight.
done this in China? Have you ever
No.
done this in China?
If I do that, I'll go to the jail.
Maybe you'll be a
I
one-man
cannot go
revolution.
outside.
Sit in front of the tank. You get down in front of the tank, man. You stand there like that in front of the fucking. That's a one-man army right there, man.
That's
This guy is
that's
one-
why it's in 1989, the 6th June 6th.
When he was only
There's a lot of the students was killing in the Tiananmen Square.
Heroes.
Yeah, they are
Chinese
killed.
patriots. Chinese patriots.
Patriots. Yeah, they are good peoples. They are normal people. They are students of the Beijing University. They are Tsinghua University. They was killing. They was killed by military peoples, by soldiers. By soldiers.
What went wrong?
So what?
What would you? What happened? with the
What do you
strategy,
think?
right?
What do you think? The Communist Party is a good people.
No, mostly-
The
no, I
Communist
didn't
Party
say
is
they're
a good
good.
people.
I never said they're
They
good.
kill the students.
never said
They
they're
kill the normal people.
Can you name a good
They take the food from the children's mouth. They take food from the mother's mouth.
Name a
They
good
let
government.
them starve to death.
Name a good government, please. Go ahead. Out of all the great powers, India,
You know-
France, Britain, name a good government.
I tell you that I live in the United States.
The United States.
I live here in the UK. Comparatively, there is no system is perfect. There's no system is perfect. There's no system is perfect. But compare with the Chinese Communist Party, with your government is better for the normal people. It's much better for the normal people. 3 million Uyghur people, they are Muslim, was put into the concentrated camp. They say nothing about the communism. They put into the jails. That's a big disasters.
Do you think China can have democracy? Because some people might look at China.
Of course.
They say China is very collectivist. China is more likely to have Confucianism, communism. These very collectivist.
Ah.
You say Britain and America, they do so much better. It's because we have a very individualist culture. The moment you turn 18, you get kicked out of the house. You don't stay with your family. We're very individualist.
But it's better. It's better staying outside of the prison. If you are normal people in China, you will persecute. You are slave of the government. Slave. You know. You don't have the freedom of the movement. Neither the freedom of the speech, freedom of the publication. Nothing. There's no. You are the police. Your policeman monitor you every day, every minute. They have the 4 million policemen to take control of the Chinese people. 1.4 billion people live in China. They work for the 100 million people, the senior officer of the Communist Party. You must realize that Communist Party is not only harmful for the Chinese people. Communist Party is harmful for your countries. They use cheap products to destroy your industry, destroy your democracy, destroy your freedom.
Take our jobs.
They take your life. They take your life. It's no job.
Also,
Take your job is the first step. Take your life is the second job. Second types.
My fan was made in China. I used for air conditioning. It's rubbish. It's really shit. But I have a serious.
But you must keep your industry survive. Your industry survive is the key to keep your freedom. To keep the freedom.
What's your strategy for bringing about democracy in China? I'm very curious. Are you?
You must boycott made in China. Boycott made in China is the first step to save your life.
I'm from South Africa. That's where I was born. They tried boycotting South Africa. It didn't work. When South Africa had the racist regime against black people, they tried to boycott it. It took like 30 years, right? Longer before they could.
You must boycott made in China. You know, in the global pandemic, your only choice is buy mask from China. So that's why you have the 500,000 people die in these countries.
I don't think China would
You have the 1 million die in the North American. That's why there is no people's. There's a few people die in China. You know, I tell you that your mask is a big problem. Your ventilator is a big problem, and your clothes probably big problem. I tell you. Sorry.
Support labor strikes by Chinese workers in China against the government.
China is no strike, no protest. You know, if you make the protest, make the strike, you'll be arrested and put into prison, and your organ will be sold by the government. So no right. You know, you must have the revolution in China, but we need help from outside of China. We need the weapon. We need the support. We need the financial support from that.
I promise.
Your promise. Destroy. Keep your industry survive. Keep your industry survive is the first step. Save your countries. Save your industry. Save your. Boycott China is to make your industry survive.
What if I love Chinese food? I want to watch Chinese movies. Why can't I do that? I'm being serious. I'm not making a joke here.
I think that's a manufacturing capability. You can have the culture products is okay.
If the Chinese electric cars are much cheaper and better, and I want to help the environment, why shouldn't I buy Chinese electric cars? Much better than the Tesla one. It's cheaper. Why not?
That's why you have the global pandemic.
Someone ate the bat soup.
No, eat bad soup. That is man-made things. Yes, I tell you that because of the biological weapons, so you get the problem. You get the troubles, and you pay your price. What's your price? Your economy stopped for 4 years. You have the 500,000 people die. You have a lot of relatives and friends die during the global pandemic.
Is that intentional by China?
That is, of course.
The Chinese Communist Party did the pandemic.
You know, I have the family still in China. I cannot talk about these topics, but I give you a warning. Keep your industry survive. Keep your manufacturing survive. That is your only way. Save your futures.
I agree with that.
Save your futures.
That's a very good idea.
If you keep buying cheap products from China, you will make your children, your grandchildren, become slave of the Communist Party in the next 20 years.
No more Chinese buses. No more bubble tea. No more kung fu movies.
You know, Chinese food made in UK is okay, it's safe. I talk about the Chinese food. You know, a lot of the cheap products are made in prison. They're made in prison. You know, a lot of the normal Chinese
Does that too,
people.
man. They basically get black slave labor in American prisons to make.
If you stay in the American prison, you have the choice to make if you slave or not, you do the work or not. But in China, normal people, 3 million Muslim people was put into the prison, and they do the free work for the
not
government.
prison, education camps. Education camps.
That's very terrible, you know. Those young people never have the opportunity to go out of the prisons. Their organ will take away. They will do the forcibly organ harvest. Forcibly organ harvest. You know, those young people, their organ was sold by the government, by the policeman. That's a big problem for those young people. Their whole life stay in the prison.
Are they cloning people in secret labs in China? Are they cloning people in secret labs in China?
No, I don't know. I don't.
还是说垃圾，说太多垃圾。
Are you gonna take out a weapon? Because otherwise, that's a serious question. I don't know what they're up to. I've heard stuff on the internet, and I kind of believe a lot of what I see on the internet.
Because the Chinese people.
I believe everything I see on the internet, man.
In this age, it's a bit of a spooky choice to do that.
Thank you.
Fuck libraries, man.
You know,
So better.
Are you with the Falun Gong by any chance?
no, I'm not
Do you
Chinese.
support the Falun Gong?
No.
You don't support them.
I have my party.
Thank you very much. I took
That's
one
my
last
party.
week, but I gave it to
Are you on YouTube? Yes, I'm in
You know, you're one of the best
YouTube. Oh yeah, you have.
You're,
Yeah.
you're one of the
Yeah.
best speakers at Speakers Corner.
YouTube. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, just read it.
No,
You're one of the
yeah.
best speakers at Speakers Corner. I really enjoy listening to you, and I hope
Yes.
you succeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Really.
Thank you.
Keep up
Thank
the
you.
fight.
Yes.
I took a picture.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah. This is the barcode you can scan and go to my website. Sorry, I lose my voice.
It's,
You need a strong voice.